Okay. Got a lot of people rolling in, but I do want to get started. Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite real estate broker, host, and mentor. I'm Lauren Kime. And today we're going to talk a little bit about something that sounds futuristic. I'm going to scare some of you today. And I'm going to say some things that you're going to say, well, I can't do that. That's too much. And don't panic or worry or get upset or concerned or frustrated or whatever. Because the bright side is our competitors aren't necessarily doing it either. But I'm going to show you some concerns we have and how we can maybe get ahead of the curve. We're already a little behind, but try and get ahead of the curve quickly. So, again, we're going to talk about something that sounds futuristic, slightly terrifying, and unfortunately very, very real. Um, Consumers are now asking AI who to call before they call us. Now, for years, and I'll show you some proof of that too, for years, people have been asking friends, neighbors, family, coworkers, past clients, and the person at the Little League snack stand who somehow knows everything about everybody. Now they're asking ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude and Grok and Perplexity questions like, who are the best realtors in my area? Who should I interview before selling my home? Which agent knows this neighborhood best? Who has the best reviews in real estate? And here's the most important part. AI is not picking people randomly out of a hat, although frankly, some of its answers occasionally make you wonder if there's a hat involved. AI is looking for public evidence. Now, that does not mean that they're correct. They're generally wrong, but they're looking for reviews and business profiles, local content, videos, social posts, third-party mentions, directory listings, market expertise, community references. And I'm going to show you some of this today. I'll jump over to the internet and show you a couple of things quickly today. So today is not about tricking AI, but it's about making sure the truth about your expertise is visible enough that AI can find it. Because if consumers are asking the robots who they should call, we want the robots to have a very good reason to recommend you instead of somebody else. So my main message for today is that AI is becoming another referral source, just like Google had been in the past, where you wanted to rank higher on Google so people would find you more easily. AI is becoming a very solid referral source. It's not the only referral source. It's not the best referral source. It's not a replacement for people who already like, know, and trust you, but it's becoming another layer in the referral process. The difference is that a past client knows you personally. They know how you handled the sale, how you answered the phone, how you negotiated, how you calmed them down when the inspection report looked like it was written by Stephen King. AI doesn't know any of that personally. AI has to infer trust. And it looks at public signals and tries to answer a basic question. Who seems credible and local, experienced, and recommended, I should say, from other people? And that means AI is doing what humans already do. It's checking reputation, it's checking consistency, and it's checking who already shows up again and again in trustworthy places. The problem is AI does not have coffee with your past clients. It can't sit at the closing table and say, wow, that agent really held this deal together. It only knows what the internet can prove. So the real big first lesson today is your reputation may be really strong in real life, but if it's invisible online, AI may not see it. And that's the gap we're going to work on a little bit today. Now, today we're going to try and do this as be as practical as possible. This is not one of those presentations where I say AI is changing everything and everybody nods seriously, and then we all leave with no idea what to do other than to feel mildly behind. I'm going to try and break this into 5 parts. I want to look at the consumer shift. Buyers and sellers are already using AI in the housing process. Some are asking about value, some are asking about timing, some are asking about neighborhoods. A lot of them are asking about how to choose an agent. Second, I want to talk about how AI decides who appears as the top realtor or the best listing agent in these answers. AI is not licensed, it's not a broker, it's not a coach. It's a fast research assistant trying to summarize what it finds online. And third, I want to talk about our trusted sources. Where does AI find this information? Your website matters, of course. So if you don't have one, we need to get one set up through Moxie. And we're going to try and help you to do that. We worked with 3 or 4 people in the last couple of days to get theirs set up, but you have to help to do it because it pings you in order to get in, and there's other stuff to it. Your Google business profile matters. I've been preaching this for probably the last 3 or 4 years, but we'll talk about that too. Reviews matter. YouTube actually matters. Local articles matter. Directory profiles matter. and what we call social proof. And fourth, we're going to do a quick audit. I'm going to scare some of you a lot because you're not going to show up in the search results at all. And you're going to see people in the search results and say, that person is terrible and doesn't know anything and is not one of the top agents. Doesn't matter because that's where they're showing up. So we'll do an audit. I want you, every agent, to be able to leave seeing this session and run searches and show where they currently stand. Do you appear? Do your competitors appear? And what sources are being cited? And then fifth, I want to build a 30-day plan, not a giant, overwhelming, quit your life and become a content creator, because that's what some of you are going to look at this and think I'm talking about. I'm not. A realistic plan, because we're realtors, not teenagers dancing on TikTok for skincare money. So the goal is simple. Make your expertise more findable, more credible, and more useful to the AI tools that consumers are already using. This is going to take some work, but we're going to do it slowly. Now let's look into why this matters right now. Now imagine a homeowner sitting in Allentown or Bethlehem or East Stroudsburg or Lake Wallenpaupack or Schnecksville or Rehoboth Beach or Wilmington or any market that our team serves. And we serve all those markets, by the way. They're thinking about selling. Now, years ago, they may have asked a neighbor. They may have gone and searched Google to find out who shows up at the top. They may have checked Zillow for the person with the highest scores, or Realtor.com, or Facebook or Google reviews. Now they are more likely to open ChatGPT or Gemini, and Gemini is Google's product, and type who are the best realtors to interview before selling my home in Lake Wallenpaupack area, in Hemlock Farms. And that's a very different kind of search. In the old model, the consumer got a list of links. They clicked each link, they compared, they read, and they decided. But in this AI model, the consumer may get a summarized answer. AI may say, here are several agents or brokerages that appear to have a strong local presence, reviews, market expertise, or relevant content. And that is a major shift. AI is not replacing referrals, but it may validate them. A consumer may hear your name from a friend and then ask AI, is this agent a good choice? Or they may ask AI first and then decide who to interview. So you've got to think of AI as a new nosy neighbor. It reads reviews, it checks maps, and I'm going to keep highlighting maps. It scans bios, it watches video transcripts. Google Gemini has all of YouTube's transcripts loaded into it. It looks at local pages. It notices who is mentioned repeatedly, and then with all the confidence of someone who has never attended a home inspection, it gives an opinion of who to choose. Now, our job is to make sure that opinion is based on good evidence and to pick us. So the reason we need to pay attention is that this is not theoretical anymore. Consumers are already doing it. Now, this is the latest study by Realtor.com. They just did this. It's a wake-up call. According to Realtor.com survey, 82% of Americans surveyed said they used AI in the last 90 days for real estate insights. That's a huge number. Now, does that mean 82% people are asking AI to choose their realtor for them? No, of course not. Some are asking about home values or about mortgage questions or whether they should sell now or wait. That's a big question that's asked. Some are asking about neighborhoods or school districts or property taxes in different areas or market conditions. But here's where it gets very important to us. Once consumers get comfortable asking AI about real estate, the second natural question is, who should I call? And that's the doorway. The good news is that this slide also reinforces something very important, that real estate agents are still one of the most trusted sources of market information. That means AI does not eliminate the value of you as the professional. It actually creates a new need for the professional to be visible. Consumers still want expertise. They still want your judgment. They still want someone who understands pricing and negotiation and inspections and financing and local market conditions and how to keep a transaction from turning into a group therapy session with addendums. AI can summarize stuff, it can make suggestions, it can point, but it can't walk into a house and say that the wallpaper here is not a feature, it's a cry for help. And that's where we come in. The takeaway from this slide is simple in my mind. Consumers are using AI, but they still need a trusted human professional. The agents who are going to win are going to be the ones whose expertise is visible enough for AI to recognize and credible enough for consumers to trust. So my entire goal today is to try and make each of you a bit more visible. And that's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. And I'm going to go through everything you can do to try and make yourself visible. If you do everything, you're going to show up at the top because most people aren't doing this. But I am going to scare some of you with the amount of stuff that I'm going to talk about. So I want to slow down for just a moment because this slide is really important. This Realtor.com survey referenced here says 82% of Americans are using AI for real estate insights. Again, it's not saying ChatGPT, please select a realtor for me, negotiate my inspection, and explain why the seller took the curtains. But it does mean that consumers are getting comfortable asking real estate questions through their AI. And again, they're asking about pricing and neighborhoods and whether or not now is a good time to buy or sell. And they are asking who they should call. So this is where business becomes an issue for us. The slide also points out that nearly 90% are using social media for housing related content. And that matters because AI doesn't just look at one neat, polished website. When it's finding people and finding information, it looks across the entire web. It may see your Google business profile. That's a very important place to look. It finds your reviews, your videos, your Facebook content, your LinkedIn profile, if you have one, your YouTube descriptions. And actually, it's not a bad idea to have YouTube pages for each agent. If not, at least send me your videos and I'll put them on our YouTube page so that your content is there. And your Zillow and Realtor.com profiles, what's written in your profile and what feedback or responses are in your profile. It'll look at our brokerage page and other mentions of you online. But again, the encouraging part is that agents are still ranked as the most trusted and accurate source of market information. That's a big deal. Consumers are not saying we don't need realtors anymore. They're saying we're gathering information differently before we choose a realtor. So the opportunity is not to become less human. The opportunity is to make your human expertise more visible. So we want to make it easier for the AIs to find. Now, this slide shows the new referral conversation. Now, what we had been doing was paying Google to show up as high as humanly possible. And obviously, we were all being outbid by, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, and so on. On the left, the consumer asks a very simple question. Who are the best listing agents in Allentown, or Bethlehem, or East Stroudsburg, or Lake Wallenpaupack, or Rehoboth Beach, wherever your market is? In the past, that question might have gone to a neighbor, a family member, a coworker, or somebody at church who knows every transaction that happened in a 5-mile radius and has opinions on every one of them. Now that question may go to AI instead. And AI starts gathering signals. Now there's 3 of them I have in those, what I call buckets in the middle. The first is what's called owned media. And I'm starting with this high level look at it so you can figure out where you need to put information and content so you start showing up. So owned media, this is the material you control. Your website, which if you don't have one set up yet, we have the ability to do that. We need to sit down and at least get that up and running. Your bio, your Google business profile, I'll get to in a couple of minutes. Your blog posts, it's really critical to be putting content online. And honestly, with AI these days, it's made it so easy to create content that can be found, that'll answer questions. Your neighborhood pages, your videos, your social media profiles, that's all owned content, stuff that we own. The second is what we call earned media, and that's what others say about you. Reviews that might be online, mentions in news, if you have any news that you talk to anybody about, directories, association pages, charity pages, community involvement. I use Vanessa as an example very often. She's involved in every type of community event on earth, and she shows up in that stuff all over LinkedIn and other sources. Podcasts, if you do any of that. Podcasts convert into text and are searched. Interviews and third-party websites. And then the third one down here is kind of interesting because it shocked me the first time I heard this from Tom Ferry's organization. And we're seeing it everywhere now. Community sources is one of the biggest places that AIs pull data from. And one of the largest ones is called Reddit. Now, I know some of you may be on Reddit and never thought about putting anything real estate related there, but it's there. It's people talking. It also checks comments on YouTube videos. It checks Facebook groups. So let's say you live in Lake Wallenpaupack area and you want to make sure you're visible. Comment on anything you can in the Lake Wallenpaupack area. And when you're putting in comments, make sure to put in, remember, I service the Lake Wallenpaupack area. Remember, I service the Hemlock Farms development. Whatever you want to do, but make that as visible as possible and connect with people that way. But Facebook groups, LinkedIn posts, local forums, and other places where people are actually talking. And AI takes all of that information in these three buckets and tries to make a recommendation. It's based on local reviews, market activity, online presence, and public reputation. Here are some agents or brokerages that appear relevant. That's what it actually says in ChatGPT. And that phrase really matters, appears relevant. AI doesn't know whether you're wonderful unless the internet provides evidence. It doesn't know that you answered your phone at 9:30 at night, talked a seller off the ledge after a low appraisal, or saved a deal with 3 phone calls and a protein bar. Unless that reputation is visible somewhere, AI can't use it. So we're going to do this step by step. First, we want to make sure platforms you control, your website, our website, is complete and running and has content on it. And second, you need to earn reviews. And part of that Century 21's doing for us anyway, but we have to have those everywhere. And we've got to cut and paste them onto Facebook. We've got to copy them onto other places. And third, we have to participate in the community in helpful, ethical ways. Comment on stuff anywhere you can. And fourth, create content that connects your name with your market and your expertise. Now, again, this is going to sound a little overwhelming. I want to break it into bite-sized chunks. And keep in mind, there are people doing this, but there aren't many. So we can leapfrog others if we start putting some of this into place. But that's how AI begins to associate you with any answers. I know it sounds like a lot, but again, we're going to try and make this bite-sized. And again, the good news is this is a lot for any realtor. So if we can be a little better than the next person, we're more likely to show up. And the key is AI is a fast research assistant with no car, no license. It infers trust by reading what your community says about you. And I'm going to, again, show you some examples in a couple of minutes. So people are asking, what's my home worth? Now, there are two broad categories of questions that are showing up. And I'm saying this because I want you to create content based on how people ask AI questions, because AI is more likely to find your content if you're answering questions that AI is being asked. So two broad areas of questions, categories. First category is market questions. Should I sell now or should I wait? What is happening in the housing market? And what's my home worth? These are three of the top questions being asked of AI. Those are questions we've always answered as realtors. We answer them at kitchen tables and at open houses, on listing appointments, buyer consultations, networking events, and occasionally while trying to buy a gallon of milk at the grocery store. The second category is more important for today's conversation, the agent selection questions. How do I choose a great listing agent? What questions should I ask a realtor? Who are the top realtors in town? Who specializes in whatever, lakefront homes, beachfront properties, mountain retreats? Who works with first-time buyers? Who understands luxury or fine homes and estates? Who knows farms? Who knows this school district, Northwestern Lehigh School District? This is where the business opportunity lives, because if consumers are asking AI how to choose an agent, then we need to create content that answers the questions people are asking AI. Let me repeat that again. If consumers are asking AI how to choose an agent, then we've got to create content that answers those questions. So here's step-by-step action that we're going to do. Take these questions on this slide, and I'm going to give this slide to you. For example, how do I choose a listing agent in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania? Or questions to ask before selling a home in East Stroudsburg? Or what to look for in a Lake Wallenpaupack realtor? Or how to choose a realtor in Northwestern Lehigh School District? Or top questions first-time buyers should ask before choosing an agent. Those are not just blog topics, they're AI visibility topics, because AI needs language to pull from. So if on your website it says I provide great service, that's nice, but it's generic. If your website has a blog post saying here are 5 questions sellers in Allentown should ask before hiring an agent, that is useful, specific, local, and searchable. AI loves useful, specific, local, searchable information. So instead of just saying, call me, I'm the best, or call me, I'm great, we want to publish content that proves we know what we're talking about. Because as we all know, every realtor says they're experienced, knowledgeable, and client-focused, even the ones who aren't. That is like every restaurant saying we only use the freshest ingredients. Well, that's wonderful. Now please explain why the salad is $19. So the key is the agents who answer the questions consumers are already asking have a better chance of being included when AI summarizes who's worth interviewing. Now, I do want to remind you that just because I'm talking about AI today doesn't mean we all need to lose our minds. AI matters, but it doesn't mean everything we know about real estate lead generation is suddenly out the window. Our strongest source of business are still the traditional ones. Open houses work. Portals can create great opportunities, not so much Zillow anymore, but portals can create great opportunities. Farm areas and target markets, like I specialize in hemlock farms, I specialize in horse properties, and so on. They matter because repetition builds recognition. Also, referrals from trusted people. That remains very powerful. And then our largest forms of business are past clients, which are incredibly valuable, and our sphere of influence, our social network, is the greatest asset to our business. It contributes 64% of the transactions we do, and that hasn't changed. People still do business with people that they like and trust. They know, like, and trust. The change is that consumers now have a new way to validate that trust. They may hear your name from a friend and then ask AI, is this person a good realtor? Who else should I interview? Or what can you tell me about this agent? Interestingly enough, I was playing with this yesterday and pulled up individual agents' names and what can you tell me about them? And one of them found an arrest record with two charges on two different occasions, something I didn't expect. So it's interesting what will come up. Who are the top agents in my area? Should I interview this person before selling my home? So your traditional referral business and your AI visibility are separate, but they are also connected. If past clients are talking about you online, AI can see that. If your sphere is engaging with your content, AI may see those signals as well. And if your farm area recognizes you because you're consistently producing local helpful content, AI may find that content. If your open house visitors leave reviews, follow you online, watch your videos, or mention you, those become public signals. So the key is that AI will probably reinforce your existing reputation, not invent a new one for you. So if you already have a strong reputation in the real world, the next step is to make sure your reputation has a digital footprint. And saying everybody knows me is not a strategy unless the internet knows you too. And that's becoming more and more critical. Now, one of the most important concept slides in this presentation is here. On the left, we've got the old model. I call it the lead ladder. It's fairly linear. We have portals like Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com and OpCity. We've got open houses. We have a farm area where you have a geographic or a demographic area or group that you're constantly maintaining contact with. You've got your past clients and your sphere of influence, your social network. That's how we tend to think about lead generation. Source by source, channel by channel, one bucket at a time. And these are all critical. But on the right, we have the new model, the citation constellation. And that, I may copyright that. And that is a very good way to think about AI. AI is not just saying, does this agent have a website? It's looking for a pattern. Does this agent show up on Google Maps? I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes. Do they have reviews? Are they mentioned on Zillow or Realtor.com? And if you're not getting reviews on Zillow, that's a problem also. Do they have videos? Are they active on LinkedIn? Are past clients talking about them? Does their brokerage profile support their expertise? Are there local pages, articles, testimonials, or community mentions? And all these signals are consistent. This is what I call the citation constellation. AI wants to see multiple points of evidence that all point to the same direction. Think of it like a jury. One witness saying the agent is good helps, but 10 witnesses saying the agent is good, and 3 documents, and 2 videos, and a Google profile, and a neighborhood guide, and 47 reviews all saying the same thing. Now you've got a strong case and you're going to show up near the top. And that is why the goal is not just to have a good website page, that's a starting point. The goal is to create a network of consistent evidence. So step by step, we're going to make sure our name is consistent because some of us change it from William to Bill to, I can't think of another example. Make sure your market is consistent. That if you are the person in Hemlock Farms, you keep talking about Hemlock Farms. I know you might want a broader market, but the idea is to try and build that reputation. Make sure your specialties are consistent. I'm the farm specialist, the beachfront specialist, whatever that is. Make sure your phone number, your brokerage, and your service areas are consistent. I'm going to show you an example, probably will come up, where there is an agent that is showing up in all the AI as being the top agent, and they're at a different firm that's being shown up in the AI because they changed. Make sure your reviews mention specific service areas and location, if you can, and I'll show you an example. Make sure your content answers local real estate questions, and make sure your videos, if you put stuff on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, make sure those videos have titles and captions and descriptions so AI can find them and understand them. And that's how you move from being merely online to being recommendable. And the line at the bottom of this slide says it perfectly. AI does not replace your sphere of influence. It requires your sphere of influence to be digitally visible. That may be the most important sentence in the whole workshop. Your reputation is still your asset. The digital visibility is how AI finds that. So the new game is not just lead generation, it's evidence generation. And this slide introduces one of the biggest mindset shifts in the whole presentation. For years, the game was what we called SEO, search engine optimization. And I know many of you haven't done this or don't know this or whatever, but when we were building websites, in order to rank higher, we would do keyword stuffing, where we might put Hemlock Farms in a blog post 15 times so that it keeps coming up. If we have images put in, which you should have, the images have alt text that also had Hemlock Farms in. Stuff like that. Search engine optimization helps you to rank a little bit higher. The goal was pretty simple. Get your website to rank on a page, a high page in Google, hopefully the first page. If somebody searched Realtor in Allentown or homes for sale in Bethlehem, you want to show up as high as possible in that traditional search. And that does still matter. But AI has added a new game, and we call it AEO, which is answer engine optimization. The old game was about ranking. The new game is by being cited and summarized and recommended. That's a very different goal. In the old SEO world, Google might show 10 blue links, and the consumer had to decide which one to click on. In this new AI world, the consumer may not click 10 links. They may simply ask, who is the best listing agent in East Stroudsburg? And AI may generate an answer. And that means the question is no longer, can I rank? The question is, can AI find enough credible evidence to include me in that answer? And that evidence may come from your website, but it may come from Google Business Profile, YouTube videos, reviews, and so on. So the old strategy SEO was heavily about keywords, which we still need to do, and backlinks and your website. But this new AEO is about context, authority, reviews, relevance, and third-party proof being out there on Reddit and Facebook and other places. AI is not just looking for the page with the best headline, it's trying to figure out who seems credible. And that's why generic marketing language is less useful than specific evidence. Now, saying I provide outstanding service is great, but saying instead, I help home sellers in Bethlehem price, prepare, market, negotiate, and close their homes with a clear step-by-step strategy gives AI a whole lot more to work with. And that's really the point. We don't just want to be found, we want to be understood. And the key is that SEO helps people find your website. AEO helps AI understand why you should be part of the answer it's going to give these consumers. So AI is a new lead source, but I want to be careful of that phrase because AI recommended leads are not replacing referrals. They're just becoming part of that referral chain. A consumer may still ask a friend, who did you use to sell your house? But now people are going to be asking, is that agent any good? What can you tell me about them? Who else should I interview? Who are the other strongest realtors in the market? And that means AI can act as a validator. And sometimes AI may be the starting point. The consumer may not know anybody in the area. Maybe they are relocating. Maybe they're selling an inherited property 2 states away. Maybe they're buying a second home. Maybe they're moving into a lake community or a school district or a town they don't know well. So they ask AI who to call. Now, the good news again is that AI is not magic, and we're going to massage this a little bit. It's not sitting there with a secret wisdom and a real estate license in a digital wallet. It's very fast research assistant. It can scan, compare, summarize, and recommend based on information it finds, but it does have weaknesses. It's incomplete. It's often outdated. It can miss great agents like some of you. It can overvalue agents who have better online visibility than you. It can sound very confident even when it's standing on a foundation made of pudding. And that's why our job is not to trick it. Our job is to give it better evidence. So step by step, we're going to make sure our online profiles are complete and consistent. We're going to build local content that connects your name and your market. We're going to earn specific reviews that mention what you actually help people to do. And then I'm going to try and talk you into doing a little bit of video and written content that answers real consumer questions. And then we want to make sure third-party platforms confirm the same story. That's what we're looking for. Now, there are several major players, and I don't know that there are going to be a lot more because these are all, billion-dollar companies. But the reason this matters is not all consumers are using the same AI tools. Some are using ChatGPT, some are using Google Gemini or Google's AI-powered search experience, which is on the Droid phones. Some are using Claude, some are using Grok, and some are using Perplexity, which is especially focused on giving you sourced answers. And each of these platforms behaves a little differently. And that's important because you might not show up in one tool, but you might show up in the next one. We might not show up in Gemini, but we might show up in ChatGPT or the other way around. A competitor might appear in Perplexity because Perplexity found a directory or an article or a review source that another platform didn't emphasize. So the first practical lesson is don't audit yourself only on one AI platform. That would be like asking one person at open house what the market's doing and using that to plan your entire business. So step by step, one of the things we might do is open ChatGPT and some of these others and try and do a quick search. Now I'm going to do one really quickly for you. I'm not going to bore you too much if I can help it. I am going to, let me first pull over a blank page. And I'm going to go and do, I don't want it to have anything from my past. So I'm going to do and open a private window. I don't know if you ever tried this, but open a private window first. And we're going to go to the free version, ChatGPT. Now, this way, it's not pulling what I've already sent because if I'm all logged into my ChatGPT, it's always going to say I'm number one. I found that out. I want what the consumer's seeing. So I'm going to put in who are the best listing agents in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. And by the way, when I do this, I've run this 4 or 5 times. It gives me a slightly different answer each time. The first time I ran it, now this is giving me companies. Yep. The first time I ran it, in the top 10, it came up with both Jotham Oliver and Penny Soto. This time it didn't get any of our agents. So the Jim and Amy Gallagher team came up one, Redstone Realty team, Lisa Sanderson, Bill Foder, and then Dana Parrish. All came up as the top agents to call. Now, again, I ran this last night. It came up with Penny and it came up with Jotham from our office. If you have a high-priced home, I'd choose these people. Pretty interesting, huh? Now, I want to show you something. Down here, it's showing a map. And the reason I point this out is that these agents have their Google profile set up on the map with a Google business page. That's one of the reasons they're showing up. And that's one of the reasons you might not be. Now I can do the same thing. Let's do Gemini real quick, and then we're going to come back and do one more. And we'll see what that comes back with. Who are the best real estate agents to list with in East Stroudsburg? Let's do Lords Valley. In Lords Valley, Pennsylvania. See what comes up. Now on Google, by the way, we're paying for ad space for the Lords Valley office. So it's interesting when stuff shows up. And honestly, we're not showing up here in this particular search. Now, we did the last one I ran. It actually came up with an agent who had retired from the Lords Valley office and was living in Florida as one of the top agents, interestingly enough. If I say, who are the best real estate agents in Hemlock Farms in Pennsylvania, and see who it comes up with. Now, again, we can circumvent this and get higher ranking very, very fast. Now, this is disappointing. We're not showing up at all this time. So this has changed. If you run it 5 times, you're going to get 5 different answers. If I do over here, who are the top real estate agents in Hawley, PA, as an example. And again, it changes. Will Klaus, Max, and by the way, these are not the top agents. Maxwell Stevens, Bridget Gelderman, Karen Rice. Now, why are some of these people showing up? Well, one of them is Karen Rice, Will Kraus, and Max Stevens have a Google profile, and most of you don't. They have a Google business page with at least one review. Because they have this Google business page, they are far more likely to rank when someone is running this type of search. So I want to make that really clear. You can see these individual people, Will Klaus, Karen Rice, and Max Stevens. Pretty interesting, isn't it? So we know what we can do by simply trying to duplicate where these are coming from. And we know where some of this stuff is coming from. So each platform behaves a little differently, and that's important. Again, you may show up in one but not another. And a competitor may appear somewhere where you aren't. So this is our translation guide. The point is that all AI platforms are not eating from the same plate. ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google AI Mode may all answer consumer questions, but they don't always rely on the same sources the same way. ChatGPT, often used for conversational discovery and summarization, finds stuff differently. So a consumer may ask it, help me figure out how to choose a listing agent, or give me a short list of realtors to interview in Bethlehem. Perplexity is often more used like a research engine. It tends to show citations more visibly. It shows where it got the data from. So I like using Perplexity just so you can figure out where these AIs are actually pulling data from. And Google AI Mode, which again people are using on their Droid phones, is especially important for local intent because it closely connects with Google's ecosystem, like Google Business Profiles, Maps, Reviews, and local relevance. And YouTube and other sources are all pulled into Google. So the action plan can't be one dimensional. If your entire strategy is I've got a website, that's not enough. Your website matters, and we need to have that up and running, but your website is only one signal. You also need a Google business profile that is strong, and I'll show you how to do that in a couple of minutes. You need reviews, you need consistent directory profiles, you need some local content, you should have some video, you need social proof, you need third-party mentions wherever possible. Now let me segue for just a second. We pulled up as examples the other day two different realtors. One of them is in Atlanta. She's been a licensed agent for 11 years. It's quite a period of time, but it's not that long. 11 years, she's on track to do over $100 million in business this year. How many of you would like to do $100 million in business this year? By the way, whenever you go to any of these AIs and try and figure out who's number one, she keeps popping up. And part of it has to do with the fact that she has such an incredible digital footprint. Now, what she does every morning, she creates a 30-second video using CapCut. Just quick videos. Now she asks ChatGPT what she should post. ChatGPT gives her answers like why it might be important to buy now even if the interest rates are higher, why now might be better to sell than later, stuff like that. And she does 30 to 45-second videos where the content that she's supposed to say scrolls on her screen, CapCut records her, and she posts it. And when she posts it, she does it automatically to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And that's consistent and showing up everywhere. And the text from that shows up, and people comment on it, and people share them. And that ranks her higher and higher and higher. And she's doing 100 million this year. So the website's your home base. Google Business Profile is your local credibility card. Reviews are your public reputation. And YouTube is a searchable video library. LinkedIn and Facebook show activity and authority, and directories confirm identity and consistency. So the more places you are, the more likely you are to show up. And if you do get into any local media or community mentions, that gives credibility to you. And all these sources, if they support the same story, gives AI a clear picture of who to recommend. That's when AI says this agent appears to be relevant to the market, and that's where you end up showing up. So think about your online presence. AI has a diet, and just like humans, it only eats one thing at a time, and the results may not be great. Although to be fair, I once lived on coffee and conference cookies for 3 days, so I'm not judging. So the point is this: AI does not want only your website. It's not enough. It doesn't want only social media, and it doesn't want only reviews. It wants a balanced diet of evidence. So we have to put you in several places. This slide shows different categories. There's the editorial diet, sources like articles and press mentions and directories, and more established websites. And by the way, when you write a blog post, you're going to copy that over to Facebook. You're going to copy that over to LinkedIn. You're going to copy it maybe to Reddit if you can do it. There are community diets, sources like Reddit or LinkedIn or forums or YouTube or comments or conversations. And then there's that local and visual diet, like Google Maps and photos and video content, and transcripts and local pages and reviews. The strategy is to feed all three. Now, I think what I've shown you so far is most of these agents who are showing up are partly showing up because they've got a Google business profile. So that's critical, but you also need your website. So your own content, your website, and so on is what you're telling AI, what you claim. The reviews that are coming up on Century 21 site and other places where you put them tell the AI what clients experienced working with you. And your third party mentions tell AI that others recognize you. Your community participation tells AI that you're active, relevant, and involved. And your video and transcripts give AI more language to understand your expertise. And your Google profile confirms where you are and what market you serve. And that balance of all these things matters. If you have a website and that's all you've got, AI might think of you as thinly documented. If you've got reviews, AI may not know or may know people like you, but not understand your specific expertise. Let me show you one other thing real quick. Um, I'm going to pull up, I think this will work. Nope, that's not it. Teresa Kime. Whoops. Let's see if this actually works today. There we go. Nope, that's not it. That's too bad. Let's pull up Google Century 21 Teresa Kime. When you're building your website, Century 21's main page has reviews of each of you. Now, Teresa has 26 reviews in here as an example. They're all 5-star, which is nice. You can take these reviews, and when you build your website, there's a review section. You're already having reviews here, but you want consistency. When you build your website, one of the things I want you to do, and they talked about this yesterday when Bob was talking about how to build your website, take these reviews, copy and paste them onto your website in the review section. You can't just automatically import them, but you can copy and paste them. That'll show up a second place. You can also take these reviews, and these are coming from Real Satisfied, so you're getting them in your email, and post them on Facebook. If you're on LinkedIn, also post them on LinkedIn. If you're on Instagram, post them there as well. The more places these reviews show up, the more likely you are to actually have this work. All right, so let me skip ahead just a little bit here. I'm sorry if I'm taking too long. Now, again, for years we've talked about Google. We thought Google mostly is a search engine. Someone searched Realtor in Bethlehem, and Google showed a list of websites, ads, maps, reviews, and links. But with the advent of Gemini, Google's AI features are changing that experience. Now Google may not simply give the consumer a list of places to click. It may assemble an answer for you. So when someone says, who are the best realtors in East Stroudsburg, or who should I interview to sell my home in Hawley, PA, Google may pull that from multiple sources. You saw that it pulled it directly from Google Business Profiles, and it pulled it directly from Google Maps, which is part of Google Business Profile. It will look at websites and local articles. It will look at century21.com, which is one of the top sites on the net. But it'll also look at social media and video content and third-party directories. So your Google presence is no longer just a digital business card. It's part of the evidence file that they create when it tries to figure out who to select. Now, your Google business profile needs to be complete. I know most of you don't have one. I'm going to show you that to you in a minute. Your categories need to be accurate, your service areas need to make sense, and your photos should be current. Your reviews should be specific if you can get reviews. And this matters because AI is trying to answer local questions with local evidence. If your Google profile looks abandoned or outdated or inconsistent or vague, it weakens the signal. It's like showing up to a listing appointment with a flip phone, a wrinkled CMA, and saying, trust me, I'm very current. Maybe you are, but the evidence isn't helping. So look at your Google business profile page, and if you have one, if not, we're going to create one. Is your name correct? Is your category correct? Is your phone number right? Is your website listed there, and is it correct? Are your service areas accurate? Do you have recent photos? Do you have any reviews at all? And if not, try and get people to give you reviews. And have you responded to reviews? Do your reviews mention specific towns or services or property types? Because in the AI world, Google's not just helping people find you, they may be helping AI decide whether or not you're even worth recommending. So Again, very simple comparison. The old SEO way was to rank on a page one of Google. And again, that still matters. We're not throwing SEO out the window, but AI has a new goal, and that's a major shift. Citation is about evidence. So the six signals we're looking for in AI, the first is relevance. Does your online presence clearly connect you with a town, a neighborhood, a subdivision, a school district, a property type, or a particular buyer or seller need? When someone asks, who knows Lake Wallenpaupack lakefront homes, or who knows Lewes, Delaware beachfront homes, and your content never says Lake Wallenpaupack or lakefront or second home or dock or shoreline or lake community, AI may not connect you to that question. The second is authority. Are you mentioned on trusted websites? Are you mentioned on directories? You're on our brokerage page. Are you in the local media or association pages or community organizations? Again, authority is not just saying I'm great. Authority is credible sources where they're going to find you. Third is social proof. Do people review you? Do they recommend you? Do they tag you or discuss you? Do they mention specific work you did? A review that says she's a great agent is really nice. But a review that says she helped us sell our home in Bethlehem, guided us through pricing, inspections, negotiations, settlement, gives AI much more language to work with. That's why you're going to take the reviews you've already gotten over the years and you're going to copy them onto your website. You're going to screenshot them and put them on social media because AI is going to have more chance of finding those things. The fourth signal is content depth. Have you answered questions that buyers and sellers are actually asking? Not call me for your real estate needs. That's just the equivalent of saying I do stuff. Content depth means answering real questions like how do I choose a listing agent in Allentown, Pennsylvania? What should I do before selling? How do home inspections work? And so on. The fifth signal is freshness. Does your online presence look alive? AI and consumers both notice when the last update was 3 years ago. An abandoned profile doesn't build confidence. And the sixth signal is citations, if you can get them. Can AI find sources it can quote or cite or use as evidence? That's where reviews of you, or articles or videos or directories or local pages all become very powerful. So the action item is to score yourself on those six signals. Relevance, am I clearly connected to my market? Authority, do trusted sources mention me? Social proof, do clients say specific things about my work? And by the way, one of the things you can do, if you're on your Facebook page, say, I'm trying to build a website with comments on what people think about my real estate service. For any of my friends and connections here on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, would you mind putting a quick note here as to what you liked about working with me? Now, some people will do it. Now, not only can you copy and paste those someplace else, but AI is going to find those and hear that Lisa was fantastic and helped me do this, this, and this. And again, content depth, have I answered real consumer questions? Freshness, does my presence look current? And citations, can AI find any evidence beyond my own claims that I'm wonderful? And this slide breaks down the AI evidence file into three categories. Again, own sources, earned sources, and community sources. I think I've covered that pretty well so far, so I'm not going to waste too much more time with that at the moment. And the slide is a warning against people thinking too narrowly. A lot of agents assume if I have a website, I've covered, and that's not true. A website's important, but it's not the whole game. If you don't have one, we've got to get it up and running. The research referenced in this slide suggests that AI platforms often cite a wide variety of sources. And again, platforms like Reddit really pour a lot of data into AI, and YouTube and LinkedIn. They show up frequently. Now, that doesn't mean you need to run out and become a full-time Reddit philosopher. Please don't. We have enough problems. But it does mean that AI may value public conversations and video content and social content and third-party mentions more than we might expect. And this is because AI is trying to understand what real people in the public sources think about those who are working in the field. So a polished website gives AI one version of the story. Reviews give it a second layer. YouTube videos give it another layer. LinkedIn content and local articles and directory profiles give it another. And then community discussions give it one more. So the important lesson is that citation patterns vary by AI platform and can change over time. So don't build your entire strategy around one platform or tactic or one hack. This is not post 3 times on LinkedIn and retire wealthy. It's about building durable visibility everywhere you can. Don't abandon your website, don't ignore Google, and don't neglect reviews. Don't forget to do some video. Your reputation needs to echo across multiple places, and that's how AI starts to see a pattern. That pattern is what gets summarized. So, getting practical, I talked a lot today about Google Business Profile, and I've been preaching this for the last couple of years, but it's become really critical. For local visibility, this is one of the most important foundations. Google, how do I set up a Google Business Profile? Seriously, that's all you have to do. It takes 3, 4 minutes to do it. For local visibility, it's one of the most important foundations. Now, when someone asks Google or Gemini or another AI driven tool, who are the best realtors near me, or who should I call to sell my home in Bethlehem, Google is a very obvious place to look at its own ecosystem. And that Google Business Profile adds you to Google Maps and allows you to get Google reviews. And you can post photos and business information updates and have some consumer engagement. Think of Google Business Profile as your digital storefront. And if your storefront looks empty or outdated or inconsistent, or like you last updated it during the Bush administration, that's not helping. Here's what every agent should check. First, make sure your business name is correct and consistent. Second, make sure your category makes sense. You should be listed as a real estate agent or a real estate agency or whatever fits your description. And third, add your service areas. If you service Allentown or Bethlehem or Lake Wallenpaupack or Schnecksville or Rehoboth Beach or any other market, your profile has to make that clear. And fourth, add current photos, not just a blurry headshot from 2009 where you still had that I just discovered Facebook look. Add a professional headshot, listing photos, community photos, office photos, and relevant listing images. By the way, I have to mention, my phone's ringing again. It's the third agent for our company calling me in the last 15 minutes, which means that our agents don't read my emails, which is kind of funny. And sixth, and fifth, respond to your reviews. When a client leaves a review, don't just let it sit there like a casserole nobody wants to claim. Respond thoroughly and mention the market when it's appropriate. Mention the process when appropriate and keep it professional. And six, use the Q&A section if you have one. Add helpful questions and answers consumers might ask. Like, for example, what areas do you serve? Do you work with sellers? Do you help first-time home buyers? Do you specialize in anything like lake homes or investment properties or luxury homes or relocation? And finally, make sure your phone number, your website, your service area, and your business identity are consistent everywhere. AI does not like confusion. It just clicks you out. If one profile says you serve Bethlehem, and another says you serve Easton, another says you serve the Poconos, another says the great tri-state galaxy I serve, and your phone number is different on 3 sites, you're making it harder for AI to connect the dots. And again, Google Business Profile is not just a profile, it's one of the strongest local trust signals. AI may use it to try and understand who you are, where you work, and whether people should trust you. And I want to note this 2 different ways. Realtors love loopholes. Not you, of course. I'm talking about other realtors. The ones at other companies, when we talk about Google Business Profiles, one of the questions that I get all the time is, can I use my home address? And I have 2 ways to answer this. The answer is to be careful. The guiding principle is your profile is supposed to accurately represent your business. So if a customer can find your physical office location, that's one thing. If your service area and business is a slightly different area, that's another. We've had a problem in the past where agents have used our business address as their personal business, and it's co-opted our business. So be careful of that. The other thing is, if you noticed when we ran those AI searches, agents in many cases are using their home as the address of their business. Now, the benefit to that, you have to be careful because Google doesn't like that. They don't want fake addresses or misleading locations. So don't pretend you have an office somewhere you don't actually have an office. But if you are working out of your house and you live 15 miles from the office and you service that area 15 miles from the office, it might be better to have your home office listed as your Google Business Profile because you're going to show up more effectively when people are searching that area. I hope that makes sense. Now, trust depends on accuracy. So I don't want your business profile to be misleading or inconsistent or eventually suspended. You haven't improved your AI visibility that way. You've damaged it. But we want to build a durable, truthful, and compliant digital presence. Your goal isn't to fool Google, but it is to have people find you in the market that you serve. So please make sure that you are careful with what you put up But again, get that Google business profile up. And by the way, I'll send out a video later on today on just how to build a Google business profile. But it's simple. Just Google, how do I set up a business profile? It'll take you through it step by step. Now, step one for today is run an AI visibility audit. And this is going to scare you. It's not complicated, but it's eye opening. Open a private or an incognito window in your browser and test the major platforms: ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, Google AI, and then ask the question that consumers would ask: who's the most charming realtor with excellent hair and a suspiciously strong understanding of inspection addenda? No, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd say, who are the top realtors in Allentown, Pennsylvania? Who's the best listing agent in Bethlehem? Who should I interview to sell my home in East Stroudsburg? Who specializes in lakefront homes in Lake Wall and Paul Pack? And so on. And then record what you find. Did you show up at all? Which competitors show up? And what sources did the AI mention? Because the sources are what we're going to go and try and put you into so that you show up next time. So that in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, you start showing up on top of the list. And that's our goal. Did it cite Google reviews? Because it usually does. Did it cite Zillow? That's going to be a little harder because haven't been getting Zillow reviews, then you're not going to show up under Zillow. Some of these will pull Zillow reviews and Realtor.com reviews. And if you haven't been getting them, we've got to find alternate places to put you. What about YouTube or LinkedIn or local articles? If it pulls from brokerage websites. Was the answer accurate or outdated? It's definitely outdated. Did it confuse you with someone else? Did it mention an agent who retired in 2017 and now sells handmade birdhouses in Vermont? That can happen. And that's why an audit matters. Before you start improving your AI visibility, you have to know what AI is seeing currently. It's not to get you offended. It's not about yelling at the robot. The robot doesn't care. It has no shame. It has never had to ask for a price reduction. It's about collecting intelligence. And once you know who appears and why they're showing up, and you're going to see a lot of its Google business profile and their website, you can start building a plan. Just don't guess how visible you are. Test it, record it, and then we'll work to fix it. Step two is reverse engineering the citations. And this is where you stop being emotional and throwing things at the screen and start being strategic. When AI recommends someone else, our first reaction is, really? Them? They suck. That's human. The better question is, why did AI pick them? And that's the money question. Look at who appeared. Look at what sources the AI used. Again, Google reviews or Zillow or Realtor.com or local articles or YouTube, or blog posts answering consumer questions, or if they're active on LinkedIn. Every citation is a clue. And you can also look up their profiles and look if they have it more than one language, if their reviews are more detailed, if their service areas are more clear. Every citation is a clue, and every clue tells you where to invest your effort. So if AI keeps citing Google Maps and Google reviews, then your Google business profile needs attention. If it keeps citing YouTube, then video content may matter in your market. If it cites local articles or directories, you may need more third-party mentions, and so on. The point is not to copy the competitors. The point is to understand the evidence pattern. If AI is building answers from certain content locations, we're going to try and duplicate that, and we're going to make that work. Step three is where we start creating content that AI can actually understand and use. The phrase in this slide is important: AI readable local expertise. And that means content that's specific, local, clear, useful, and tied to real consumer questions. A lot of real estate content's too generic. Now is a great time to buy or sell. Might be something you see. I provide excellent service. Call me for all your real estate needs. Your dream home awaits. That kind of language is too vague. It can be used by a realtor, a furniture store, or a dating app. AI readable content is different. It connects your name, your market, your specializations, and your expertise. So I've got 4 of them up here. First, make sure you have agent selected content. So we might create blog posts and put them everywhere. Put them on your website, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, anywhere you can, on Reddit. How to choose a listing agent in Allentown is an agent selection content. Another one is questions to ask before selling a home in Bethlehem or in Lords Valley or in Hemlock Farms. What to look for when interviewing realtors in East Stroudsburg. These are powerful because consumers are already asking AI those questions. The second is neighborhood authority. What makes New Tripoli different? What makes Hemlock Farms different? By the way, some of the things we've been doing are webinars. You can do a webinar. What makes New Tripoli a different place to live? And that's going to help you rank higher because we're going to take that webinar, which I can help you create, and we're going to make sure we post it into Facebook. We're going to post it into YouTube, and all that data is going to show up somewhere. What are the best neighborhoods near Bethlehem for commute, lifestyle, and value? What buyers should know before moving to the Northwestern Lehigh School District? This type of content helps AI associate you with local knowledge. Third is market updates. Example might be 2026 housing market update for the Lehigh Valley. What sellers in East Stroudsburg need to know right now about the real estate market. Is inventory rising or falling near Lake Wallenpaupack? All these market updates show freshness and expertise. And by the way, these concepts I stole from some of the top agents in different areas and what they're posting. And fourth is niche expertise. So lakefront homes selling mistakes near Lake Wallenpaupack. Now I've got lakefront homes selling and Lake Wallenpaupack all in the headline. Does that make sense? What first-time home buyers should know before buying a home in Allentown. How to prepare a luxury property for sale in the Lehigh Valley. What sellers of farms and land should know before a listing. The 5 mistakes sellers of farm and land have made that have cost them thousands of dollars. All those are headlines we might use to try and grab attention, but also attract the AI to use our answers to its questions. And that's where you separate yourself because AI is not asking broad questions like who's the best realtor. It's also asking specific questions like who knows lakefront homes or who works with first-time buyers or who understands investment properties or who sells in this school district. And if you want AI to connect you to those questions, your content needs to say things clearly and answer those questions. So step by step, pick one market, pick one audience, pick one question. And by the way, you can go into ChatGPT or Gemini and have it help you write a script that you can use to answer those questions, record it, and then post it onto YouTube. Or I'll help you do that, or set up a webinar to do that. And we'll stream it live to Facebook. I'll show you how to do the first one, then you can do it going forward using our Zoom account. And once you do one, you can do more than one, and make sure it's streamed to Facebook, and then we're going to also post it on YouTube. Make sure you repurpose it. You can also put it on LinkedIn. You can upload it to your Google Business profile. All these things help. We don't want to overcomplicate it. One strong article can become a video, a social post, a short reel, a Google update, and an email to your sphere of influence. And that's how you build visibility efficiently. The key is that AI can't recommend you for expertise it can't find. So make your local knowledge specific and searchable and easy to summarize. And this shows why all reviews are not equal. Now, this is hard to do because we need to get our clients writing these. Let me be clear, any honest 5-star review is appreciated and fantastic. We're realtors. We're not going to look at a client and say, great agent, and say, well, that lacks semantic richness. But we want to make sure that if we have the opportunity to influence it somewhat, we want to have a stronger signal. Of course, we're going to say thank you very much if somebody writes us a review, particularly on Google. We're going to respond with thank you so much. We really appreciate you working with us, possibly print it on a pillow. But from an AI standpoint, great agent is a weak signal. It tells AI somebody liked you but doesn't explain why. It doesn't mention the town or the service or the pricing or anything you did. So AI sees praise but not much context. Now, if you look at the one on the right, we interviewed several realtors in Lehigh Valley and chose Lauren because of his market knowledge and pricing strategy. He helped us sell our home in Allentown and guided us through the inspections. Now, that's a lot more useful because AI can extract meaningful pieces of information. It sees Lehigh Valley, it sees a review, a recommendation, which helps us to rank higher already. It sees the key terms Lehigh Valley, Allentown, market knowledge, pricing strategy, selling a home, and inspections all in that review. And that gives AI language it can summarize later. So when someone asks who's a good listing agent in Allentown or who understands pricing strategy in Lehigh Valley, that review gives AI something to work with. So those that have more reviews are more likely to show up. And I'm not saying to write fake reviews, absolutely not. The lesson is to ask clients for honest, specific reviews. Instead of saying, could you leave me a review? You might say something like, would you be comfortable mentioning the town, the type of help I provided you, and what part of the process was most valuable to you? And by the way, let's say you want more reviews on Facebook. that at least in your inline stuff. So you post something on Facebook or Instagram saying, I'm trying to collect reviews of my service in real estate. Would any of you that are connected with me mind or be comfortable mentioning what I did to help you with your real estate purchase or sale? And please mention the town you're in, the type of help I provided, and what part of the process you found most valuable to you. If you post something like that and people respond, that is going to automatically increase your visibility. It's not manipulation, it's helping to be specific. And that specificity gives AI the language it needs to summarize your expertise to the next buyer or seller. And that specificity also helps human beings. A seller reading great agent thinks, well, that's nice. But a seller reading helped us price correctly, negotiate inspections, and close successfully, that sounds like what I need. So the key is generic praise makes people feel good. Specific praise helps AI understand what you're good at. And step four, I know I'm going to scare you, is video. Now, I know the moment I say video, half the room immediately clicks and jumps out of this. Nope, I didn't get into real estate to become a YouTuber. The good news is you do not have to become a YouTuber. You don't need a studio. You don't need theme music, although it's sometimes fun. You don't need drone footage of yourself walking across a parking lot like you're entering a Netflix documentary. We just need to create short, useful local videos. The slide recommends 45 to 90 seconds. That's it. It's as little as 30 seconds. One question per video, not a long speech, not something that Lauren would do. Not everything you know about real estate since the invention of the deed. One question, for example, what would sellers in Schnecksville ask before hiring a listing agent? What are three mistakes sellers make when pricing a home in Bethlehem? What should buyers know before moving to Lake Wallenpaupack? What should buyers know before buying a second home? What would first-time buyers in Allentown do before touring homes? What should homeowners in East Stroudsburg know before listing this year in 2026? And the reason video matters is not just because people watch video. People are watching reels all night long right now, much more than they're watching television. Video matters because AI can read the text around the video. It can read titles, it can read descriptions, it can read captions that are in the video, and it reads transcripts. And that means your video becomes searchable language. So if the title says Selling a Home in Schnecksville, PA, 5 questions to ask before hiring a realtor, that title contains several useful signals. It has a location, Schnecksville. It has a consumer need, selling. It has a topic, and it has an agent selection angle. And that content doesn't have to be fancy. It has to be clear. And again, you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude to help you write these little 30-second things and then tweak it to sound like you. The simple formula is start with location, answer one question, give 3 practical points, and end with a soft call to action. Now, there's a agent in Allentown. I'm not going to name who it is. They're not with us. But she started the business 3 years ago. She's on track to do about $6 million this year. Oh, did she choose the right company? No, it's nothing to do with the company. Every day, she posts a 30-second video, and her following has gotten enormous. 30-second commercials every day, 30-second questions every day for 3 years. And she shows up everywhere because she's ranking higher and higher and higher because she's just doing these posts. Post something, okay? And again, just a 30, 60-second video. And this might be one of the more practical slides in the deck. If you're interviewing realtors in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, ask about pricing strategy, buyer demand, inspections, negotiations, market reach, and local expertise in Northwestern School District. That is the caption for for that video that I just talked about. And again, we're mentioning the area, Schnecksville. We're mentioning interviewing realtors, pricing strategy, buyer demand, inspection negotiations, market reach, local expertise, and the school district. This is a beautiful AI signal. And frankly, it does more than most real estate captions saying another happy client, so blessed. Call me for all your real estate needs. That may be warm and friendly, but it's not useful to AI. We need to have as much context in the stuff we post as possible. Now, I know there's a lot I'm covering today. I'm going to try and wrap it up shortly, but when you do put a video, what the AI may see is a person talking on camera. That's what we see. AI sees something different. They see the title. For example, selling a home in Schnecksville, PA. That's a relevant signal. AI sees the caption, Northwestern Lehigh School District. It sees geographic anchoring. AI sees the transcript. For example, pricing strategy, buyer demand, and inspection negotiations. That is topic authority. So even if the video gets only a modest number of views, it can still be valuable. That's a big mindset shift. We often judge video by vanity metrics. How many views did it get? How many likes? How many comments? Did anybody say my lighting looked nice? Did my forehead reflect the recessed lighting like a solar panel? But for AI visibility, the hidden text may be just as important as public engagement. A video that only has 73 views, but a strong title and strong caption and strong transcript may be more useful than a generic video with 1,000 views but says nothing specific. The goal is not to go viral, although sometimes it's nice. The goal is to become locally understandable so you're found. And that should be a relief because most realtors don't need viral content. You need someone in Arizona watching your video about Schnecksville and moving here if they're moving to this area. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. Local relevance. And step 5 is to try and encourage authentic, specific reviews. Again, really important. A weak review is great agent, and we appreciate that. We're thankful. We'll take it. But from an AI standpoint, that's not much context. We really want them to say something more like, Lauren helped us sell our home in Allentown and guided us through pricing, inspections, negotiations, and settlement. Now we're getting somewhere. That review includes the location, the service, and the process. Now, the best review that I've got here is we interviewed several realtors in Lehigh Valley and chose Lauren Kime because of his market knowledge, communication, and pricing strategy. It's stronger because it connects the agent to the consumer's decision-making process. It tells the agent why the client chose the agent, and that matters because consumers are asking AI who they should choose. So how do we get better reviews without crossing the line? One of the things I might say is thank you again for trusting me with the sale of your home. Would you be willing to leave an honest review about your experience? And by the way, it's especially helpful if you mention the town you bought in or sold in, whether you were buying or selling, and anything specific that helped you, such as pricing or communication or negotiations or inspections or settlement. I would say that. That's ethical. You're not telling them what to say. You're not offering them money. You're not asking for fake praise. You're simply helping them understand what kind of detail is useful. Okay? Step 6 is participating in community conversations ethically. Now, I know some of you do this really well. Some of you are on all the neighborhood apps. You're on all the local Facebook pages or group chats, Lake Wallenpaupack group chat, Northwestern Lehigh group chat. Wherever you are, there's a Nazareth area group chat. There's a lot of them. Join them. It matters because AI does not look at what you say about yourself. It looks at what's happening in the public conversations. And that includes Facebook groups. And again, Reddit threads for some reason is really ranking people higher. Discussions on LinkedIn, YouTube comments, local forums, neighborhood pages, and community conversations all help you to get noticed. Now, before anybody gets excited and starts posting, call me for all your real estate needs under every discussion about trash pickup, let me be clear, it's not a strategy. It's how you become the person everybody silently blocks while pretending to be polite. Your goal isn't to spam people. Your goal is to be useful. If somebody asks, what should I know before selling a home in this market? You can answer honestly. And by the way, every time you list a property, and some of you do this really well and some of you don't, every property gets listed, we're automatically putting on our pages on Facebook and Instagram, whether it's Central Valley Country Lake, Central Valley Kime, Central Valley Emerald. We're putting it onto our Facebook page, and you should be putting on yours as well. But you should also be sharing that new listing to the groups that are in that area. So if you are part of Northwestern Lehigh, I keep using that as an example because it's where I live, but you should post into the Northwestern Lehigh groups. There are probably 6 or 7 of them. Germansville PA group, Nutropoli PA group, Northwestern Lehigh buy sell. There are a number of them. So post them there. If you look at Lake Wallenpaupack, there's like a dozen. New listing coming on the market in the Lake Wallenpaupack area. Make sure to have it there because you're going to get some response, some comments, and it shows you as the expert in that area. So if somebody asks online, how do I choose a realtor? You can say I'm a local agent, so take this for what it's worth, but I'd ask about pricing strategy, market plan, inspection negotiations, communication, and recent experience in your specific area. So when somebody says, and you'll see this all the time, some of you are constantly online posting, I need a good realtor in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, or Mount Pocono. You'll see 100 agents write, call me, here's my business card. That's great. But again, If somebody asks that, you might say, "Hey, I'm a local agent, so take this for what it's worth." But when you're interviewing agents like me, ask them about pricing strategy and marketing plan and inspection negotiations and communication and their recent experience in your area, because that's more likely to rank. It's helpful. You're not just saying pick me, you're demonstrating expertise. And this slide gives us the right approach. Answer questions honestly and helpfully. Disclose when you're an agent. Stay local and genuinely useful. Give a framework they can use. And then don't do the fake praise about yourself. Don't use fake accounts. The key is reputation, and AI will eventually connect your name to helpful local answers. Step 7 is to try and use consistent images of yourself, and that may seem minor, but it matters. AI and search systems are looking for identity signals. They're trying to connect your name, your face, and your market and your business across several platforms. And that means, especially, we've got Michelle Miller and we've got John Jones, right? Very, very common names, right? So if you've got a common name, 500 other people may come up with the same name. So AI will compare the images to try and figure out who you are. So connect your name, your face, your market, your business. Be consistent in your professional presence. Your headshot should not look like you looked in 1998. It should not look like it's gone through a glamour filter that makes you look like you sell real estate on a soap opera. And it should not look like it's cropped out of a wedding photo where somebody else's shoulder's still in the frame. Use a professional headshot across your major platforms. And again, our AI tools, C21 Keim University, if you have not used it, take a couple of pictures of yourself and upload them into create a professional headshot. It'll create one for you that looks pretty good. And you can use that across your different platforms. Chuck yesterday noticed that we had changed his business card and his profile picture to one we pulled out of AI, and it looks great. And he's really impressed with how the picture came out. Use listing photos with agent context when appropriate. Use video thumbnails that include your face, your market, and the topic if you can. And again, Google business profile photos that reinforce who you are and how you work. AI tries to connect those dots. And let's turn this into a quick action. This is very easy to leave today with it thinking that was interesting and then immediately go back doing exactly what you were doing before. Real estate agents are great at collecting ideas. Execution is where the magic actually happens. I've told you 100 times what I would do every day if you want to be successful is sit down in the morning, pull up 5 or 6 of your past clients or your sphere of influence, look up their house on Zillow, screenshot what they value the houses on Zillow, and text it to your friend. Pick 3 or 4 or 5 a day, not many, and say, "Hey, I just noticed your house on Zillow today. This is what it says it's worth. That's really interesting. What's your opinion? I've got mine." I've told all of you that many times. Some of the top agents in the world do that every day, and most of you aren't. You should be doing that. So again, we collect great ideas. We don't necessarily use them. Execution is where the magic happens. So let's do a quick 30-day plan. First one is audit and cleanup. Search yourself on ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. Ask questions a consumer would ask. You might get depressed when you do this, but we're going to leapfrog everybody else in 30 to 60 days when we start posting stuff that's going to get us ranked up there. Then create or update your Google business profile. And I'm going to send out a video later today on how to create a Google business profile, but it's really simple to do. Make sure your name, phone number, market, service areas, bio, and specialty are all in there. Week 2 is reviews and testimonials. Try and ask happy clients for specific, honest reviews on Google because it's the most likely place where they're going to pull from. Add strong testimonials to your website and your bio pages. The goal is not fake praise. The goal is truthful detail. Week 3 is local authority content. Now, none of these take a lot of time. Week 1, reviews and audit and cleanup, 10 minutes. Reviews and testimonials, reach out to the last 5 or 6 clients you had. Week 3 is local authority content. Choose 3 useful pieces of content. One might be how to choose a realtor in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Another might be what sellers in East Stroudsburg need to know right now, or top questions to ask an agent before selling in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. And then repurpose each piece. You're going to go to ChatGPT, or you can write it yourself. It's better, but you can go to ChatGPT and ask it to help you prepare a 30 or 60-second post or article or blog post about how to choose a realtor in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. And repurpose that. Put it on your blog. And if you don't have a website yet, get the website set up. Our coordinators in the offices will help you. I'll help you. But get that website set up, add a blog post, add that blog post to Facebook and your Google business profile. Put it on LinkedIn if you can. And if you can, create a short video of it. Record yourself on a short video and post the video. And week 4 is video and community. Record 3 to 5 short videos. You can do it in half an hour with local titles and captions. Answer 3 to 5 local questions in community groups ethically. And then rerun your AI searches and compare the results. Now, you might not start showing up in 30 days, but you will over a little bit of time. So phase 1 is our blueprint is cleaning house, figuring out whether or not you're appearing. Phase 2 is to create evidence, start building that authority. We're going to create AI readable guides. We might create how to choose a realtor in Allentown as a blog post. We might do a 2026 housing market update for the summer for Bethlehem sellers, what Lake Wallenpaupack Pack sellers should know before listing, and so on. And distribute that content. Don't just put it on your website and whisper good luck little article. Post it as a blog post, turn it into a LinkedIn post, share that on Facebook or cut and paste the entire thing on Facebook. Create a video caption of it, turn the key points into a short video, add it to your Google business profile. And again, week 4 is video. Keep them simple, 45 to 90 seconds, one question per video. And very tactical. Run AI searches, figure out where you are. I'm repeating myself over and over again, where you're going to appear. Claim your profiles. Update your profile on Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com. If you haven't done it yet, please make sure to update your profiles. And try and be consistent. Use the same photo between all of them. And then again, start building that local authority. How to choose a realtor in your market, what sellers in a market need to know, and top questions before listing. Now again, all of these, you can take this question on the top left, turn it into a blog article, a LinkedIn post, a Facebook post. You can turn it into an Instagram reel. You can post it on Facebook, connect Instagram, and have it do a reel. And we'll do a training session on how to get on Instagram for those of you who are my age. And a YouTube short. More places you are, the more likely you are to show up. These are 3 questions you can answer, okay? And the message I want everybody to take seriously, the agents who win will not be the agents who trick AI. They'll be the ones who give AI the most truthful evidence that you're already trusting your market. It's a different mindset. It's not about gimmicks. It's not about stuffing your name in every page 47 times, although we've done that. It's not about creating fake Reddit conversations or asking your cousin, your assistant, your golden retriever to leave Google reviews. Although to be fair, the golden retriever would probably say very nice things about you. The winning strategy is 3 points. Make your expertise visible. That means creating content that answers real questions that buyers and sellers are asking. Second is make your reputation verifiable. That means earning authentic reviews. And hopefully not just great agent, but reviews that mention what you help them with, pricing, communication, negotiations, whatever, local knowledge. And third, make knowledge searchable. And that means building local authority content across owned and earned and community sources. Your website's important, your brokerage profile is important, but also Google business profile, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, directory profiles, and so on. And reviews. The most truthful evidence AI can find from reviews, the easier it is for AI to understand why you are the person to recommend. And that's great news because long-term winners will not be the people who find loopholes. The long-term winners are going to be people who generally make that goodness easier to verify. And finally, back to something familiar. Again, for decades, real estate's been built on the people that know, like, and trust you, and that has not changed. People still want the professional they can trust. They want somebody who understands the market, the neighborhood. They want somebody who can explain to them pricing and negotiation effectively and can manage the inspections and solve their problems and communicate clearly and stay in touch with them and keep the transaction moving forward. And AI is not going to replace that. AI simply changes how consumers decide who's worth interviewing. The consumer may hear your name from a friend and then ask AI to validate it. A relocating buyer may ask AI who knows a certain community. A seller may ask AI what questions to ask before hiring a listing agent. A homeowner may ask AI who has strong reviews in a specific town. But the future is still know, like, and trust. But now part of like and trust is digital. AI is not loyal, it's not sentimental, it doesn't care that you sponsored a Little League team in 2007 unless the internet can find out about it. And frankly, the Little League team may not remember that either. They're all 31 now and they're refinancing. So we need to feed AI the truth. We need to feed AI your expertise, your reputation, your local knowledge, your market experience, your happy client stories, your videos, your reviews, your community involvement, your useful answers. That's how you become the realtor that robots recommend. Not by fooling the system, not by chasing hacks, not by panicking every time a new AI tool appears, but by doing what great agents have always done, which is serving your clients well. But you also have to make that service visible, searchable, and verifiable. So, my final challenge is in the next 30 days, do three things: run your AI audit, clean up your profiles, create at least one piece of useful content, and repurpose it, and then do it again and again. That's how it becomes a habit. And over time, those habits create public evidence, and that public evidence creates AI visibility. AI visibility creates more opportunities to be considered. And being considered is where business really begins. Remember, robots are not replacing our relationships, they're reading the receipts. They're making sure that you're showing the truth, that you're local, trusted, and that you're experienced. And the big picture is AI is not creating trust from nothing. It's not sitting in a dark room somewhere or in a dark data center somewhere saying, "Today I shall bless three realtors in Bethlehem and ignore everybody else." AI is mostly reflecting what it can find online. And that's why I like the phrase in this slide: AI is a mechanical mirror of human trust. In the real world, trust is built through relationships. A client hires you, you guide them through the pricing, through preparing the home, through negotiating the offer, through managing inspections and solving problems and getting them a settlement. And because of that, they trust you, they refer you. That's the real world side. But AI doesn't sit at your closing table. AI doesn't hear the client say, "Thank goodness you helped us through that inspection." AI doesn't know that you spent 2 hours explaining the difference between a repair request and a ransom note. AI only sees the digital reflection of that trust: Google reviews, local blog mentions, YouTube transcripts, Reddit tags, Facebook conversations, LinkedIn posts. That's what it sees. You don't need to become a computer programmer to win here. You don't need to learn coding. You don't need to understand algorithms. You need to digitize your word of mouth. That means taking the trust you already have in the real world and finding a way to make it visible and searchable and verifiable online. Because AI is not going to replace know, like, and trust. It's going to demand public evidence of it. And this is our flywheel. Again, real world action. We're going to do a great job. Digital evidence. AI is going to ingest that and it's going to recommend us. It's going to take a little time for that to work, but it's going to work. I see I may have a couple of chat messages. Repair request with a ransom note. Sorry about that. And I want everybody to leave with this. Again, AI is not loyal to anybody. It's not sentimental. It doesn't care that you sponsored that little league team that I talked about. It's just looking for verifiable proof. So we have to be able to feed it information. And the way we do that is having more content out there on the web. And that content is important. So the more we can post, the better. Now, one other thing I do want to leave you with is as you're getting your websites reset up, because there were a few hiccups that took a lot of your websites down, as we're getting a lot of those sites back up, or you're getting them back up, either way, um, make sure when you're sharing listings online, do not share them from Zillow or Realtor.com. Share them from your website. Go into your website and share your listings onto Facebook and other places from there if you're going to have a link. Or you can pull them right out of 21 Online or Moxie and share them that way. But make sure when people are linked to your listing, they come back to your personal website. That way, if somebody asks about that or anything else, they're going to find you. So we want them coming back regularly and often to your site. So get the site set up and share listings from that. But again, Google Business Page, please start working on that. That's a critical step. Now we'll open it up to questions. Does anybody have questions that I might be able to answer?
Yeah. First off, on the Google business page, all right, the second page or whether it says business name. If you put in Century 21 Kime, it's going to make an email to you to ask permission. Should it not be that? Should it be like our name, Realtor, or something? I'm just trying
It
to
should,
understand.
I think the way you're supposed to do it is your name dash the company name. So Dwight Musselman dash Century 21 Kime. I think that'll
I
work.
All right, because I mean, it lists our commercial operation. It lists you at all the different locations. I just don't want everyone else to do the same thing this dummy did and be sending you 25 emails today.
Right. And actually, let me see if I can pull this back up. So if I go to maps.google.com and I'm still in a private window, We did this the other day. If I pull up Hawley, PA, I didn't want to Hawley, PA. I wanted real estate agents in Hawley, PA. And it was kind of interesting what came up. So if you look at this, it shows agencies here, but then it'll also show individual agents. Karen Rice with Lake Living. Oh, Karen Rice Lake Living, Keller Williams Real Estate. So it actually shows her at her house on this page. So that's how she did it. Will Klaus. And by the way, when we did the AI and it pulled up the top agents, these are the people who pulled up because they have good reviews and because they have a page on the Google Business Profile. So that's how they did it. This guy put in parentheses what company he's with. This one put associate broker at. So that's what I would do. I would actually uh, put that your name dash the company name on there if that makes sense. Other questions anybody's got? I hope this was helpful. And again, we want to spend some time over the next 2 weeks really helping you to make
I have
sure your
a
websites are up.
question.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of content here, but it's not a lot. It's kind of repetitive. I'm just wondering, do you have a printout of an overview of this video from today?
Yes. Yes, I can do that.
That way I can just throw it on my desk and make sure I stare at it every day and make sure I get to it.
Yeah, you
And
know what?
remember there's a lot of little details.
I will create an action plan out of this today and I'll get it to you this afternoon. No problem.
I was just going to ask if you had like a checklist of step to step, top to
Yeah, I can
bottom.
do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Other questions anybody's got?
Lauren,
Yeah.
would it be possible to create like a daily, weekly checklist of what we should be doing daily, what we should be doing weekly, what we should be doing monthly, etc.?
Yeah, I can do that. I can also share some of the people who've been successful at it in different regions. And just so you can see examples of what other people are doing, which is sometimes frustrating, but it'll help. But yeah, I can create a checklist. A daily reminder checklist would be fine. I can create that. Sure. By the way, with Google Business Profile, sometimes it won't actually do anything until it sends you a card in the mail to prove you're actually there. So if it doesn't know that you're really a business, it's going to send you a postcard and then it'll give you a code and then you log in and put the code in. So it might do that when you're creating that Google Business Profile. Other questions anybody's got? Um,
Just if you do put your name dash Century 21 Kime, it still goes sends you an email for access. Just
oh,
so
that's
you
fine.
know.
All right. Oh, and by the way, so I've had a lot of people do this. Pennsylvania does fine you if you don't have the full name on. So if you just put Century 21, because I know a lot of people have their Facebook business pages as, you know, Bill Smith, John Smith, dash Century 21. It has to say Century 21 Country Lake Homes, Century 21 Kime, or Century 21 Emerald. Because if it doesn't, you could theoretically get fined. So please be aware of that. The other thing is somewhere on there you have to have an office phone number because that's the law. Now, obviously, you want to have your cell phone number everywhere because you want people calling you, not the office. But legally, you have to have the office number somewhere on there. So please make sure you do that as well.
Lauren,
And yes,
you
Kathy, I
mentioned,
will set up a thing on Google Business Profile. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you just mentioned about Facebook. So you're saying the Facebook page to do all of this, it has to be a business Facebook page?
No, but you can't. So you really should have a business page anyway. The problem with business pages, so I've gotten clipped on Facebook. I've been kicked off twice, for those of you who don't know that. Um, when I first set up our business page, and I have to be careful how I say this because the Lord's Valley office still has one of these and we haven't been kicked off yet. You can't set it up as a person. Any business has to be set up as a business page. And you're supposed to have your personal stuff on your personal page and your business stuff on your business page. And it's relatively easy to set up a business page. The problem with a business page is nobody sees it. So you could set up a business page and then as you post stuff, share it to your personal page. That works. And then invite friends to see your business page. And over time, you'll build some followers, but you're not going to probably get a lot. The other thing is if you're running ads, the ads have to actually run from your business page, not from your, oh, you know what, this won't work because I'm in a fake page. Let's pull up Facebook real quick or in a incognito page. So for example, creating if I hit the dots up here, I can create a page. And when I create a page, I make it a business page. I just put all this stuff in. What is it? Category. It's a business page, page name, and I can fill this in. Same as
Just so
if
you
I had
know,
said,
just so you
yeah, I'm
know,
not showing it.
we're not seeing your screen if you're trying to share your
Yeah, it
screen.
figures. Okay, hang
We're
on a
seeing
second.
a
Let's.
great face of you, and you're sitting in a really nice office with lots of gold.
Yeah, it's not a real office, by the way. All right,
I-
so let me go back and start this one over. Let's go back to, let's close this out for a second. All right, so if I want to create a business page up here, I'm going to go on the dots, and then I'm going to create page. And then you're just like you create a Facebook account, you're going to put in a background, a picture, and you're going to create a page name and so on. So I might create Kathy Novak Century 21 Kime as an example. And I might create the category of realtor, uh, real estate agent, and then put in a bio and then just create the page. Now, this becomes your page that you control. So you can post to it and share stuff backwards. Now, Century 21 Lords Valley still has a personal page set up as a business page, and that has not been shut down. All of our other ones were, because at some point somebody usually reports it, because you're not supposed to have a personal page to run that. But it works much better. So if you have it saved as a personal page and you've got Kathy Novak Realtor as a personal page, you can connect with people and ask them to connect. Whereas with a business page, you have to invite them, which is a lot harder to do. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying you should have a business page also, but put stuff on your business page, which nobody's going to look at, and then share it back to your personal page. That's what you're going to actually do.
So
Sort of makes
on the business page, do you have to have certain things on there like the address, phone number, or is it like you know how there's rules on advertising that you're supposed to follow with, you know, your phone, my cell phone number isn't supposed to be larger than the company's office number, the size of the print, all of that. Like how important is that on the business page? Does I don't
I
know
think
how,
I
yeah.
think it's important just to have it there. I don't think it's going to be any bigger, but you have to have the business phone number on there. So this is our business page for the Country Lake edition. And so these are some of the things we've been posting that come out pretty nice. So that's been working pretty well.
How did you
But
create that? Did you do that in like, did I just go into university,
yeah,
C21
so all
and
I
pull that
did
up?
was, so I created the page. Actually, Laura's on here, did this, but, and she did that, I think, at Canva. So we just created page. I actually have about 2 dozen pages, but oh, I can't do a create page because I'm in that account. So if I go back to me, I just created a page. That's all I did. And then filled it in. Oops, there we go. And I just filled everything in. That's all I did. But again, put in your bio and as much information as you can about yourself in here.
But the
But
photo,
again,
the logo photos, you got those all, we can get those all from C21 University.
you can actually get them also from Canva, the Canva accounts, or let me know and I can send it to you. I have them shared also on a Google Drive, so you can pull them from the Google Drive as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I was struggling trying to find some different logos and where's the best places to go for that to like, do you recommend a specific, do you have a library of all our logos that we can choose
I
from?
do. I will send that. Let me make a note of that so I don't forget it. I will send that out later on today too. Library of logos. I do have that as a Google Drive.
Okay, great. Thank
And I'll
you.
send that out so you can use it. The other thing you can do, let's say we create, let me go into ChatGPT. You can, it's not logging me in. You can, um, all right, I don't, I won't do it right now. You can create like a background in ChatGPT as well. By the way, this background I'm using here, this gold standard background, I created that in ChatGPT. And then I animated it in something called Leonardo. So you probably can't see it, but there are boats moving back and forth in the water behind me that's not really there.
Are you talking
So
about setting up an account in ChatGPT that's business? That you're mentioning this? I'm a little,
no, I'm saying if you have a personal account in ChatGPT, it's like
yeah,
20 bucks a month or something. You
yeah.
can create images in there.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes, I
And
understand.
a lot of the stuff I create, I'm doing in ChatGPT.
Lauren,
Yeah, go ahead.
Lauren, I
Yeah.
have a Facebook business account from when I was with the other company. How can I switch that over to this company? Because that has all my content in it.
You should be able to just edit it. So when you're in Facebook, let me see if I can pull that up again real quick. If you created it, now the problem is if they created it, that's a whole nother story. But if you
Oh,
created it, let's go back a second to my account here. Up here at the top, if you click on your picture, now it might look a little different on your phone, but if you click on your picture, it'll show you all the accounts you have, all the profiles you've got. Now I have a lot of them, but you should have one here. I actually still have Claudio's here. So, and see more profiles. So I can actually, I've got Fadi's here as well, where I can actually edit it. So you should have one here you can edit. And then let's say I go in and I want to change something. We've got one I call waterfront real estate that I should update more often. It leads people back to our sites. So let's say I want to change the photo in the background and the contact information. All you have to do is click on it, edit cover photo, edit this photo, edit the contact information. You can edit everything in here. Just hit edit and change the contact information, the website, um, anything you want, you can actually change right in it.
okay.
As long as you have access to it. So all you're going to do is click on your picture up at the top right hand corner. And when you click on your picture, hopefully it's going to, you'll have that link where you can change it. Next time you're in the office, also, I can look at it. If you don't have access to it, that's a whole nother problem. You're going to have to create a new one.
Okay.
Anybody else? All right. Hopefully this is helpful. I know that this is a lot of material, and this does not stop you from going out and trying to make sure you stay in touch with your past clients, your sphere of influence, and everybody that likes and trusts you. That's where you really want to build business. But in the long run, more and more business is getting directed, and we're moving away from people calling somebody from Zillow or paying for ads on Google. We're moving into the world of people asking their phone who to call in real estate. And it's really interesting who it'll come up with. So we've got to, I'm not saying stack the deck, but we can influence it by what we post online. And there are some relatively new agents that are doing a spectacular job that are taking over by having a lot of content out there. So the goal is to try and start slowly building that same content so that we outrank everybody else. And so that you personally outrank everybody else. Kathy is the top realtor in Nazareth or whatever area she wants to hit, and so on. Other questions or comments? Anything? Some of you are doing a great job on this already, by the way. Some of you are having a lot of fun with it too. But the idea is to try and make sure that you are showing up everywhere we need to. So we've got to create a website. We've got to get you a business page on Google Business, and we've got to start helping you to create some relevant content. And that is my goal over the next couple of weeks to try and make that happen for everybody so that you are showing up everywhere humanly possible. All right. Any other questions at all? All right. In that case, I'll stop for today, and I will get out a lot of material later on today to you so you've got it. Well, thank all
Thank
of
you
you
so
for
much.
joining us today. I appreciate it. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lauren.